Hey, what's up, guys? Here we go. Football talk with Hawk. Doggone it, silly camera. There we go. All right. On this beautiful Tuesday, make sure this is actually set up correctly. There we go. All right, sound looks good. Music is on. Beautiful. All right. What the heck did we just witness? I mean, seriously. Seriously. Uh, wow. What a fantastic weekend of football again, and all for the wrong reasons for most of the fan bases. All because we really don't know what we just witnessed. Really don't. So, the majority of today, we're going to look at three division races right now. We're going to play a game. But I want to just kind of snapshot the weekend. So we had a football game where the home team played pretty dang bad. Their only touchdown was an interception return for a touchdown. Their quarterback has a injured ankle, but would not leave the game because he didn't want to get benched. We had a game in which a team that the owner is basically tanking the team, not by how they play, but how much skill they have on the field, upsets a team that hasn't lost to them in years, um, and puts said team in an interesting position. We have a team that's got a coach that's probably got the most energy in the NFL of any head coach that can't seem to get his team to play the same way that he is able to play. The state of New York football was on a bye. The state of New Jersey football looks amazing right now. And a game out in the Bay Area that showed exactly why the 49ers drafted Trey Lance. Okay, so here we go. Let's break this down. Number one, the Colts game. Obviously, probably most of you have heard the Colts are benching Matt Ryan for Sam Ellinger. Ellinger. Um, who knows? We'll find out the real pronunciation of his name later. But Sam Ellinger, he's a mobile quarterback, which is going to work better with this offensive line. He's not a statue like Matt Ryan is. But I want to ask you something. I really do. This bothers a lot of true Colts fans. We are 3-1. We have played 5 division games. We have won one of them and tied one of them. We have basically all of our victories come from behind victories from Matt Ryan. Gutty performances. When we need it most, Matt Ryan always shows up. And even on Sunday, when we needed him to orchestrate a drive, he was orchestrating a drive. Going down, getting ready to score a touchdown to take the lead. Michael Pittman fumbles. Tennessee walks it back, kicks a field goal. You're 3-1. And you're going to bench the veteran that you have failed. And maybe this is what it is. Frank has said, no, I really don't trust Frank Reich. I don't trust anything that comes out of his mouth at all. As a player, he stunk. As a quarterback, he was bad. Offensive call designer 10 years ago, it was pretty good. But it's starting to show that Doug Peterson had a lot more of that than him. Doug Peterson's doing what Frank should be doing. Doug Peterson is in Jacksonville with a younger team, competing at a much better level better offensive plays, better offensive calls, and Doug Peterson's the one that did the orchestration in Philadelphia, not Frank Reich. Not Frank Reich. Nick Sirianni in Philadelphia is undefeated, not Frank Reich. Nick Sirianni leaned into Jalen Hurts, leaned into what they are. Frank Reich is a bad football coach in 2022. Frank Reich needs to be fired. Chris Ballard needs to stay. He's built a team that can win. And I know there's a lot there wondering, what about the trades that busted? I don't know if there's a trade that's actually busted. I really don't think there's a trade that's busted. They've been searching for a quarterback. I still believe Matt Ryan is the quarterback to play the rest of this year. I believe Matt Ryan is the quarterback to play even if you have a rookie quarterback next year. Protect these guys. I watched the documentary of Peyton Manning at Tennessee, and then the one of him for the Hall of Fame for his entire career. And one thing the coaches said, Philip Fulmer at Tennessee said, the problem with freshman quarterbacks is you have to protect them. You cannot let them get down or think that it's their fault. You can't let them do that, because you're going to need them in the sophomore, junior, and senior year to go, I can make that play. Whether they can or not, you need them to have the attitude, I can make that play. Jim Mora, of which I do not like, Jim Mora was the head football coach. We went 3-13, 13-3, 9-7, 6-10. After the 6-10 season, he got fired. I have said, I tweeted Jim Irsay, I have said, this looks like that 6-10 year where we have the pieces. We had Harrison, we had Edgerrin James, we had Peyton Manning. We went 6-10 with all those weapons, with all that skill. We went 6-10. Okay, Jim Mora gets fired. This is exactly what it looks like. The Colts could easily go 6-11, 7-10, fire Frank Reich, and bring in Eric Bieniemy. I want Bieniemy. I want him in here so bad. I want to see the receivers that we have, the weapons we have being used correctly. He knows how to use a tight end like Travis Kelce. He knows how to use them. He knows how to use receivers. He's gotten the most out of Juju Smith-Schuster, for goodness sakes. Come on. Let's bring in a guy that can really dial in the offense. The defensive side of the ball is not bad. The defense is actually good. I am worried that there's going to be a fire sale here in Indianapolis, and we're going to get rid of Yannick Ngakoue, which we can. Let me be clear. Trading Yannick would not be a bad thing because we would have to re-sign him at the end of the year anyway. So getting a third round pick for him from a contender that needs defensive line help is not a bad option whatsoever. Even if it's a conditional second, like if he plays X amount of games or has X amount of sacks, it returns into a second from a third, conditional third, whatever it may be. That's not something that I would actually bark against too much. That, to me, expiring contracts, if they're not worth re-signing, which I do not believe Ngakoue is, I think you should trade him at that point, yes. Kenny Moore is another potential one. Maybe you can get a 5th round pick, conditional 5th that moves up to a 4th. I love the conditionals. I love it. But nonetheless, so the Colts game, moving to Sam Ehlinger. I picked up Sam in some of my fantasy leagues, and we'll go over that in tomorrow's video. But that's 10 minutes of this video down basically about the Colts. I'm a homer. Deal with it, guys. I love my team. But here's where we're going to go today. So I want to play a game. And hopefully this is only going to take about 20 minutes. I don't want to really run this video out too terribly long. You guys know that. But we're going to have some fun. We're going to play a game today. And this is the game. We're going to play Broadcaster Talk. And we're going to go down schedule. You see all the teams that are currently vying for division leads, division championships. Okay? So, I've got everything set. I've got my paper here in front of me. What I want to do, actually, give me just one sec. Let me get this piece of paper that I've got sitting over here. There we go. All right. So, wrote some of this stuff down, and I want to be able to tell you guys. So, we're going to go down the schedule, is what we're going to do. We're going to go down the schedule. The criteria for this game is this. We are going to go game by game, record versus record, okay? Record versus record, straight up. So this is basically, if everything was played straight up paper right now, we're playing these games on paper. Forget injuries, forget coaching, forget who the players are, straight up paper. What would these divisions look like at the end of the year? Now, we're going to start with Tampa Bay and Atlanta. This is a very interesting one. Both teams are 3-4. Here is the criteria for this. Right now, we've got some teams that have a bye, some teams that don't. That doesn't matter. We're going to play this game straight up. So it goes wins, losses, win percentage. So in other words, if a team has a bye, they may have less, but the win percentage would put them in front. And if they have the same record, the tiebreaker is whoever's home gets the win. Just like in Vegas, the home team automatically gets 3 points. So that's how we're going to play this game. So wins, losses, win percentage, and if it's tied straight across the board, whoever is home will get the victory. Here we go. I love this. I love this. I ain't going to lie. I did this. I actually did this in the truck overnight. Monday night? Yeah, Monday night. And it's pretty interesting. Okay, so here we go. Tampa Bay and Atlanta are both 3-4. We're going to start with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This week, they have the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are 4-3, so that is a loss. Okay, that is a loss. The next week, they have the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams have a bye. They are currently 3-3. So the win percentage is 500 compared to 429. That's another loss. The next week they play the Seahawks. The Seahawks are currently 4-3. Buccaneers 3-4. That's a loss. So the next 3 weeks they would go from 3-4. This is 100% on paper. 3-4 to 3-7. In the next 3 weeks. On paper, only record versus record. That is it. Nothing else. Record versus record. Okay? In the same time frame, the Falcons play Carolina, Chargers, Carolina. That would be 2 wins and 1 loss. Okay? 2 wins, 1 loss heading into week number 11. So currently, at that point, we are sitting at an Atlanta Falcon team that is 5-5 and a Tampa Bay Buccaneer team that is 3-7 heading into week 11. So that is 10 games. The final 7 games we're all going to do in a row. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At Cleveland, they have a better record. That's a win. Versus New Orleans, they've got the better record. That's a win. San Francisco 49ers are 3-4. It's the same. They're the same record, but San Francisco's home. So according to our criteria, the home team gets the 3 points automatically. San Francisco wins. Cincinnati would win. They've got the better record. And Cincinnati's home. So that makes sense. On the road to Arizona. In Arizona, They have the same record as 3-4 right now, but Arizona's home. So that would be another loss. And then they finish it out with Carolina. That would be a win. And they close out the year at Atlanta, which has the same record, but is home. So that would be a loss. So there is potential. Now, this is 100% on paper, which is why I love games like this. 100% on paper. That would be a 6-11 season for the Tom Brady Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Dr. Pepper, good stuff. 6-11. So let's run back through this real quick. They have the Baltimore Ravens, Los Angeles Rams, Seattle Seahawks, then their bye week in Week 11. The Cleveland Browns, New Orleans Saints, San Francisco 49ers, Cincinnati Bengals, Arizona Cardinals. And then they finish with Carolina Panthers and at Atlanta Falcons. There is a chance that this team could easily be under 500. Easily be under 500. All right, now let's go to the other side. Now let's go to Atlanta's side. So we have Atlanta sitting at 3-4, playing the Bears. The Bears they are home against. So we are sitting in week number 11 right now. Week 11. Bears at home would be a W. Washington Commanders, they are on the road. Same record, but on the road would be a loss. Pittsburgh Steelers, they have a better record, would be a win. At New Orleans would be a win after their bye week in week 14. At Baltimore would be a loss. Home against Arizona, they have the same record, but Atlanta's home would be a win and then a win in week 18 at home against Tampa Bay. So then you have a shot potentially of the ending season result being 10-7 for the Atlanta Falcons. Only on paper. They lose to Baltimore, and they lose on the road to Baltimore and on the road to Washington. I ain't gonna lie. Their schedule lines up really nicely for them. They get the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. They get the Bears at home. They even get the Los Angeles Chargers at home. So even though on the paper it looks good, the reality is the Atlanta Falcons still have a shot to win this division, very much because of what they've already played. They've beaten Seattle. Tampa could lose. They beat San Francisco. Tampa Bay still plays them. This is interesting. This is very, very interesting. I love it. I love the division matchups. The way that this is fantastic. Like, this is so much fun to see how crazy of a year this is. Now, let me be clear. This is why the NFL is the best league in the world. Because any given week, something crazy can happen. In Major League Baseball, you basically only have, at the start of the season, 12 teams that you think can even compete for a chance to play in the championship games. You got about 16 teams you think may be able to vie for a playoff spot. And then you've got about 8 teams that you're like, they're just not there, but they could be fun to watch. We'll see what their farm system does, see what they do at the trade deadline. And then you've got another 6 teams that are basically tanking and will continue to tank because there's no repercussions of it. NBA. The Celtics changed how tanking is done along with the 76ers. My Indiana Pacers, which I will have videos on basketball as we get into the NFL offseason, but my Indiana Pacers, they are currently 1-2. They play tonight. They are losing but they are fun to watch. You've got young guys, good young draft picks from last year and this year. We're building the core. We're building the team. The team is fun to watch. They're fast, they're athletic, they're playing hard, lots of flashy plays, still working on gelling as a team. Not going to be great right now, but they're fun to watch. And they didn't tank by trying to be horrible. They just aren't ready to play at the high level of skill that's required to compete in the NBA. Tanking was changed in the NBA, but you still don't have teams like that beating really good teams. They play hard, they make it a fun game to watch, but they're still going to lose. The NFL, you have the Seahawks predicted to get 4 wins at the beginning of the season. They've already reached that clip. The Giants are 6-1, also predicted only to get 5 wins. And the Falcons already at 3-4. None of these teams were predicted or thought of to be able to do anything this year. And the Giants have an absolutely dang good coach, really good GM that knows how to handle what they're doing. They're still probably going to be looking for a quarterback in the offseason, but they're doing what they're doing, and they're doing it well. It is amazing what this year in football has brought, and there are so many teams that are muddled at 3-3, 3-4. The middle of the league is so close. So close. It's going to be an exciting final 11 weeks of the season. But here we go. All right, so we're going to do the NFC East next. Where are we at? All right, took about 10 minutes on that one. Didn't want to take that long. Let's see if we can rush through this a little bit quicker. All right, so we're doing the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Eagles. All right, so Dallas, New York, and Philly. Now remember, this is all on paper. Now these guys is probably going to be majority wins because of the fact Philadelphia is undefeated. So odds are Philadelphia on paper is going to be undefeated. The Giants are 6-1 and the Cowboys are 5-2. So let's kind of see what happens here. Let's start with the Cowboys. Home against Chicago, that would be a win. At Green Bay would be a win. At Minnesota would be a loss. Home against the Giants would be a loss. Indianapolis would be a win. Houston, win. At Jacksonville, win. Home against Philadelphia, loss. Tennessee and Washington to close out the year are both wins. So sitting at 5-2, they'd be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that would be a 12-5, based off of paper, a 12-5 Dallas Cowboy team, probably the 6th seed in the NFC wildcard. More than likely. I don't think the 7th seed is going to be lower than that. That is a 6th seed in the NFC wildcard. Now, let's go to the Giants. Giants are 6-1. Seattle, win. Houston, win. Detroit, win. Dallas, win. Washington, win. Philadelphia, loss. At Washington, win. At Minnesota, Minnesota has the same record. It's at Minnesota, so that's a loss. Indianapolis, win. Philadelphia, loss. That'd be 1, 2, 3, so that'd be what? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they would be one game better than Dallas. And then, yes, as predicted, because nothing can beat Philly because they're undefeated, Philadelphia would be undefeated based off of the paper, which would be 17-0. Okay? But think about that for a second. Just off of paper, only paper, and I don't think these are going to be the records, but this is a fun game to play. Go through each one of the teams. When you go through each one of them, even the bad teams, even the teams that are sitting at 1-5, 1-4, like the Lions and the Texans, go through. Like the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers are both now 3-4 after the Bears just absolutely embarrassed the Patriots in Foxborough. The Bears, when you run through it, maybe they, on paper, look like they have a better shot at being second in that division compared to Green Bay. Maybe, maybe not. It's a fun game to play when you just run down through, lay it out, lay everything out there, see what's going to happen, and move forward from there. All right, here we go. We're going to go into the final division, which is the NFC West. This division has a bunch of 3 and 4 teams. I don't know what to make of this division. Don't ask. Nobody knows. The professionals don't know. And no talk show host has a clue of what's going on over here. Not a clue. So we're going to play this game and see what would happen. Really. That's after looking at it, that's the only way that I felt like I could actually do this. Because, yeah. So we're going to do the same thing we just did. And we're going to do it a little bit quicker, just like we have been, at least for the NFC East. We're going to run a little bit faster so we don't drag this video out. So we're going to start with the Cardinals. They are 3 and 4. Cardinals are 3 and 4. So let's see on paper exactly how they would be playing out the rest of the year on paper. Here we go. Minnesota, loss. Versus Seattle, loss. At the Rams, loss. They've got more losses than the Rams. Versus San Francisco, they're the same record, would be a win. Versus the Chargers would be a loss because the Chargers have 4 wins. Versus New England would be a win. At Denver, win. Versus Tampa Bay would be a win because they're home. At Atlanta would be a loss. And at San Francisco would be a loss. So, from 3 and 4, that would then be 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be a 7 and 10, which oddly enough is what I predicted them to be in my revised standings. If you guys remember, I predicted them to be 7 and 10. These are kind of the games that I thought that they would win and lose comparatively. So based off of paper, the Cardinals are going to end up the year 7 and 10. All right, let's go to the San Francisco 49ers. Also 3 and 4. Let's see what happens. At Los Angeles Rams would be a loss. The Rams don't have 4 losses. They only have 3. At the Los Angeles Chargers would be a loss. Versus Arizona is a win. Versus New Orleans is a win. Versus Miami, I believe Miami has 3 losses. So they are home, but Miami would be a loss because Miami has 4 wins. Versus Tampa Bay, their home would be a win. At Seattle, loss. Versus Washington, their home. Washington's 3 and 4. I know I should know this back and forth, but that would be a win. At Las Vegas has 2 wins now, correct? Yep, 2 wins. So that'd be a win. And then versus Arizona would also be a win. Okay, so from 3 and 4 on paper, finishing out the rest of the year for the San Francisco 49ers, they would end up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they would be the exact opposite of the Arizona Cardinals. They would be 10 and 7. So Arizona Cardinals 7 and 10, 49ers 10 and 7. All right, let's go to the Los Angeles Rams, which are 3 and 3. They had a bye week. So let's see how this works. All right, so versus San Francisco, win. Tampa Bay, win. Arizona, win. New Orleans Saints, win. Kansas City, loss. Seattle, loss. Las Vegas, win. Green Bay, win. Denver, win. Los Angeles Chargers, loss. Seattle, loss. All right, so from 3 and 3 to 1, 2, 3, 4, so 7, 8, 9, 10, also 10 and 7. Holy crap. I swear. This is so much more fun. All right, so we now have the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams, both at 10 and 7, based off of paper, heading into the Seattle Seahawks. Let's see how their schedule closes out the rest of the year, because this is going to be huge. They close out the rest of the year. Let's see where their schedule lines up. All right, Seattle versus New York Giants. Giants are rolling. That's an L. At Arizona is a W. Tampa Bay is a W. Raiders, W. At the Rams would be a W. Carolina, W. San Francisco, W. At the Kansas City Chiefs, loss. New York Jets, loss. Versus the Rams, W. That, oh, so that would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So on paper, this is what it would be. So let's run this down. On paper for the NFC West, the Cardinals, record versus record only through the rest of the year, would be 7-10. The 49ers would be 10-7. The Rams would be 10-7. And the Seahawks would be 11-6. 11-6. So the tiebreaker would be between the Rams and the 49ers for more than likely the 7th playoff spot. Because the Cowboys and the Giants would have 5th and 6th. The Rams and 49ers would be fighting for the 7th place wildcard spot. So to recap, before we get off, Seattle on paper wins the division. Philadelphia Eagles on paper win the division. And the Atlanta Falcons, Penguin's going to shoot me. He's going to hate me for this. But it's the reality when you just run through it record versus record. The Atlanta Falcons could win this division. They have a young team. They need to start Ritter. They need to bench Mariota and start Ritter. Now, this is different than what the Colts are doing. This is a team that's going, Mariota's not throwing the football. Okay? He's been told, take care of the football, don't turn it over, that's all you have to do. They run, they play hard. You can do that with a rookie. You're not asking him to make you're not asking him to make hot route reads all the time. Like this offense is set up perfectly to bring in a rookie quarterback and get him going. Mariota's not the future. This is different. Ryan was supposed to be here for 3 years before we had to worry about anything. Like Ellinger has never been assumed to be the future. They drafted Desmond Ritter to play him in the future. Why not play him now? Give him a shot. Let him go. Let him play. So yeah, there we go, guys. Broadcaster talk. The way that it could easily pan out in the NFL when you go schedule versus schedule, record versus record only for the rest of the year. Gotta tell you, we could be in for a really fun last 11 weeks. All right, guys. Tomorrow, got some thoughts on some of the coaching stuff that's going on. Then we look ahead to the weeks. I know I haven't posted as many videos the last 2 weeks. I apologize for that. I will have another video out tomorrow as well. Appreciate everybody that watched the last video, up to 32 views. I know it's really small, but dang it, I love it. So I appreciate it very, very much. Guys, that is going to be it for today. Appreciate all the support. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and we will see you guys on the next video. Until then, wings up, hawk out, football on.